In this video, we will be talking about the academic issues surrounding the world of private collections. The biggest academic problem that researchers have is difficulty accessing these private collections. For example, my classical archaeology professor wrote about an ancient statue head, and this head was in a private collection. He was only able to write that paper because the people who owned the head were acquaintances of his, and they invited him to take a look at it. Not everyone who owns private collections has an archaeologist friend, sadly. Everyone should have an archaeologist friend. And since private collectors aren't trained in archaeology, one of the problems that can arise is they don't know which collection items are important or not. They might show off a sculpture head, which interests them, while there are field-changing artifacts sitting in their collection that are not that interesting to the untrained eye. So, all in all, private collections can restrict our knowledge of the past, because it makes it difficult for researchers to access or even know about the contents of these collections that people have bought up. There's a significant barrier to research and learning here. Another academic issue is that private collections might erase some of our data about the past through negligent practices. One should always track down the provenance, or the history of the people who've owned it, so that you can make sure it's legit, and the provenience, basically where the artifact was found. Is it next to other artifacts? Was it in a certain part of a certain building? That sort of contextual information. Sometimes private collectors don't really track down or record this information, which can be a major problem. Without that information, what we can learn from an artifact is actually greatly limited. Now, a saving grace of this is that some collectors hire academics to help them amass their collections. Usually the reason is to make sure the artifacts are legit, not to preserve historical data, but, at least some of them hire academics. But even though there is some of that going on, many collectors don't hire academics, or the academics are inclined to make certain conclusions or follow certain practices by the money of their patron, their, collector who's paying for them. Even if there's an academic attaché, it's not always a perfect solution. So academically, private collections can be kind of rough, but as we'll see in the next video about the financial side of things, private collections are not 100% terrible. See you in the next video.